In Brazil, deadly gun violence is common in the city of Rio de Janeiro. Hospital emergency rooms are often overburdened with the constant influx of shooting victims. Many of them are taken to Rio's Getulio Vargas hospital, which is just 1 block away from one of the city's most violent slums. Gabriel Elizondo spent a 12-hour shift in the emergency room.
It's a typical Wednesday night in the emergency room at Getulio Vargas Hospital in Rio. Police drive up outside with a body. It's a man shot in one of Rio's slums. On average, 35,000 people are killed from gun violence in this country every year. In Rio, over 350 shooting victims this year alone have crossed through the emergency room doors at Getulio Vargas Hospital, one of the busiest trauma centers in the entire city. Doctors say every year the injuries from gun violence get more severe.
The drug gangs are using more powerful weapons now, weapons of war. We try to save lives, but many times our job is simply to confirm people are dead on arrival.
All night, people injured arrive at the ER, most by ambulance. Others arrive in vans that double as taxis. And some victims are literally carried in. Heavily armed police often patrol outside the ER and often get into deadly shootouts with nearby drug gangs. Because the hospital is literally surrounded by some of the most violent slums in all of Rio, the doctors here in the emergency room have actually become experts at dealing with gunshot wound victims. But here, sometimes the doctors are the victims. The night after we filmed, a doctor was shot in the face right outside the hospital when he found himself caught in the crossfire of a shootout between criminals and police. As for the shooting victim from the police car wheeled into the ER, doctors quickly determine he is dead on arrival, shot 4 times at close range. The police tell us he was likely executed, but they don't know why. The deceased man's cell phone rings and a police officer answers. It's his brother. Come to Getulio Vargas Hospital, he says, without getting into details. The unspoken truth, his killing will likely never be solved. But they go through the motions like clockwork, checking his ID to log his death before he's taken away. In what is another dark and sadly typical night in Rio. Gabriel Elizondo,